It's on! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live for December 6th, a.k.a. the day after Walt's birthday. Happy birthday, Walt Disney. My name is Jimmy Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place, co-host of this show. The other co-founders right over there in the cool Beauty and the Beast cap. That's my wife, Rebecca. Down there are our special guest today, while we're on our best behavior, the CEO of LP, among other organizations, Benjamin Breitbart.
Wait, what other organizations?
Hey, Benji.
Hi. Down there, the vice president of broadcasting, wherever he can find a signal, is Jeremiah Good, coming to you live from Idlewild Airport in beautiful New York, New York.
Time travel.
Where?
So we're going to talk about the week in Disney Parks news, which up until today was a pretty slow week, but things happened today, and we thought we better get this thing on the air. We are live, of course, so if you have any questions, comments, if you need anything from New York, just let us know in the comments. We will do our best to accommodate, but let's get started with the news in the world of Disney theme parks over the past week, and that is, of course, the return of the pre-show at E.T., the extraterrestrial attraction at Universal Studios Florida. They are once again asking your name. E.T. says, hello, Jeremiah, at the end, and that is really exciting.
He says, goodbye, friend.
The person at the front is asking you your name, and it's been what, almost 2 years since that's been there, so it's nice to have it back. I feel like we are one step closer to the world being completely back to normal, thanks to the return of the E.T. pre-show. Todd's excited about it. So anyway, that's our breaking news, our top story today, but we also have some breaking news that I feel we should shove in there, and that is Genie Plus. Genie Plus is coming to the Disneyland Resort. It was announced today at 1 p.m. Pacific. It launches on Wednesday, December 8th. And who wants to talk about it? Let's have our CEO talk about it, because he's our boss. We have to let him.
I don't know if that's the way it works, but I will say, so, it's funny, we were talking this morning about when will Genie Plus come to Disneyland, and they said fall. So we realized that they had about 14 days to do it. So they decided to do it in 2 days. But I think we're familiar with the concept from Walt Disney World at this point. You have the Genie, which kind of plans your day, complimentary. Genie Plus, which is like Max Pass was, where you can kind of book fast passes through your phone. And then the new thing, which is the individual lightning lane, or ILS, who you can purchase attractions, which are, I believe, Rise of Resistance, Radiator Springs Racers, and Web Slingers, kind of on your own, purchase Lightning Lane access through those. Obviously, the big question here is, well, there's some nuance to this. There's some differences. Big question is, how is a Disneyland guest, which is different than a Walt Disney World guest, going to react? How's this going to affect park operations? I'm pretty sure nobody knows the answer to that, including folks, our friends.
I believe Defunct Plan probably has a pretty good guess.
So let me answer Tord's question. Genie Plus is how Disney is renamed, in essence, what was known at Disneyland as Max Pass. And this is a system whereby you pay a $20 per ticket. You can add it on. It's not, you don't have to. You add it on, $20 per ticket fee, and then you are able to book a fast pass return time at various attractions throughout the park. It's done through the app. and they're spread out throughout the day. It's very similar. If you use the Max Pass system, it's pretty much identical to that. But it is a paid access to Fast Pass, what they now call Lightning Lane. Something that previously, you would take your ticket and get a return time. That is no longer the case. You now have an option of either paid expedient access or standby line. Free expedient access is a thing of the past at this time.
The other big difference between this and Max Pass is you can't buy a year if you have an annual pass. So not that there's annual passes, but if you couldn't. Previously, the higher end annual passes included Max Pass, and you could pay, I forget what it was, but let's say $75 or for access for the year if you had an annual pass. This time, if you have a Magic Key, you're paying $20 every time you want to use Genie Plus.
And that $20
individual. Just because he asked the question, if individual Lightning Lane are separate attractions that are not part of Genie Plus, where you purchase access separately from your $20 fee. So you don't have to pay the $20 fee to use Genie Plus, but you could just pay for Rise of Resistance if that's the one thing you want to do and it's important to you. But those attractions are not part of Genie Plus.
And I appreciate that Disney Parks blog really kind of calls that out. They didn't so much with Disneyland or Walt Disney World. I still have people that don't understand you don't need to buy Genie Plus to get an individual Lightning Lane or vice versa. Yeah. And as somebody who's done the Genie Plus, I did Max Pass at Disneyland. I can only assume it'll be very similar to the point where, you walk in, you tap, you book your next Lightning Lane for, 20, 30 minutes later. With the Magic Kingdom, I did 14 attractions in one day doing Genie Plus the first day. I'm sure Disneyland will be pretty similar, but I think the biggest strange thing is Radiator Springs is being put on the individual Lightning Lane, where I was just on that just a few days ago, and without the Lightning Lane, it was one of the longest waits in the park. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually affects it with the individual Lightning Lane.
I just wanted to point out that Genie Plus is $20 at Disneyland Resort. It was which is the same price Max Pass was. It was only $15 at Walt Disney World. So that's the higher cost.
Disneyland includes your PhotoPass downloads for the day, which it doesn't at Disneyland.
Now they're also launching Genie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Genie is the free with admission service that helps you throughout your day at the park of where should I go next and planning your meals and such. Some people have said it's wonderful. Some people have said it's not particularly helpful at Walt Disney World. We'll see how it is at Disneyland, which has even a higher theme park IQ guest. But I'm, much like at Disney World, I'm excited to see how it plays out at Disneyland. Genie itself.
Phoebe, we're going to be guessing on this one, but one of the differences between the way they're structuring Genie Plus at Disneyland Resort versus Walt Disney World is your access to these Lightning Lane are triggered once you have utilized your ticket. At Walt Disney World, it's more time-based, with resort guests getting an earlier time slot than a theme park ticket holder. Whereas at Disneyland, the access is enabled when your ticket media is utilized. So I'm curious to see how this pans out. I can tell you at Walt Disney World, I don't think we're seeing a lot of attractions sell out before late afternoon for the day. Except for the extremely popular ones, but we'll see how it plays out at Disneyland. How many people are going to opt in for it versus willing to be in a standby line? I'm interested to see.
Well, and if you're attending just I'm sorry, Phoebe, I don't know exactly the whole circumstances, but if you're attending just for Marius Nights, you will not be able to purchase Genie for that event.
Oh, that'll be standby only, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So even though there's a sort of a mixing period between, I forget the time, let's say 5 to 9, you will that is not because you don't need a reservation for that. It is you would just go standby only. Then once the event starts, you could there'd be less need for it to begin with because it's a reduced number.
So I just want to make that clear. Even though you can enter the park at 5 and it doesn't close till 9, you can't buy Genie Plus with the Marius Nights ticket.
Right, because yes,
that's a different event media. And Disney fan 1955. I've been going to Disney World. My first trip was in '73. I was regularly going to Disneyland pretty much 4 to 5 times a year since the mid '80s. Moved to Florida in the early 2000s and pretty much visited multiple times a week up until about 6 years ago when I moved to Northern California. Now I only get to a Disney theme park about 4 to 5 times a year. I know that the guy over there found out about Disney theme parks in the 90s and he's been going regularly ever since. Jeremiah, you've pretty much grown up with it, as has Benji, right?
Mm-hmm. I've been going since my first trip was 78, I believe, is the first picture I have.
So that'll give you some of our, and Doobie and I founded this here website, laughingplace.com, back in 1999. We've been writing about the Disney company ever since then. Let's see. So Jeremy, go ahead, Doobie.
Oh, I was just going to say, we'll find out on Wednesday. We're going to have Laughing Place there on Wednesday. Mike Celestino, the normal Disneyland Resort correspondent, will be there on Wednesday to check it out firsthand. And then we're probably going to do a stream, I believe, on Thursday evening. Rebecca and Mike will be talking about it and getting a firsthand account. So that's what we're here for. Anything else on Genie Plus or Genie or Lightning?
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
No, I got nothing.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it is utilized differently. Like what kind of dynamics we see in comparison to Walt Disney World. I'm still torn in my thought on Genie Plus in regards to quote success. In Walt Disney World, I'm kind of waiting until the end of the holiday season. I'm personally waiting to see how standby line wait times exist over the course of the holiday season, because so far, just kind of anecdotally, just taking a peek now and then, it seems to me I'm not seeing wait times as bloated as I feel like I've seen in years past when we did have the Fast Pass. And I also feel like I had greater access to I might have had greater access to Fast Pass as a local kind of day of than I would have seen in years gone by. But I haven't done a deep dive and analysis. That's just kind of been a knee-jerk reaction, just kind of doing a surface look every now and again. I'm interested to really look more deeply and kind of analytically once we've gotten through the holiday season.
Yeah, I think it's worth saying, first of all, if anyone's going to hack it, it's going to be Disneyland people. And I don't mean like anything wrong, but they'll figure out the way to get the most value out of it. And the arrival pattern is completely different. Guests at Disney World tend to be there fairly early. Disneyland guests kind of meander in because they're local and they're not. It's not the once in a lifetime thing typically, and so it will be you're just like with Fast Pass. Disneyland and Disney World's were impacted completely differently by Fast Pass. Disneyland never got Fast Pass Plus. It had it had a Max Pass. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the uptake is. So we know 30% of Disney World guests, as of the last quarter, partake in Genie Plus.
That is a huge number.
It'll be interesting to see if we get that number from Disneyland or Bob Chapek. It'll be interesting to see what the difference is, because it's one thing to do it for your week-long vacation, and it's your once in a lifetime or once a year thing. But if you're going every couple, let's say you're going 6 times in 60 days, which is the reservations, will you do it every time? Many Magic Key holders don't even go on attractions, so maybe they won't buy them. It'll be interesting to see.
That is a huge number. 30% of guests are using Genie Plus. I guess the uptake would be that strong. So you mentioned the people going to Disneyland once a lifetime. if you are someone looking to go to Disneyland for the first time in your life, do not plan on doing it this month unless you already have your tickets, because as you can see here, the park is sold out for one-day tickets. Yes, Jeremiah.
They actually, I mean, I don't know if one-day tickets are different than the APs, but
They are.
APs just opened up the entire month. I
Right,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they
no,
opened up.
they did reopen for Dream Key only. I checked just before we went on air for Dream Key. There were still dates available in December. No other tier of the Magic Key, but one-day tickets were still listed like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so if you want-
earlier this morning, I checked to, before we knew about Magic Key, I checked to see how Small World reopening would have impacted capacity. And they did have other keys available, but those seem to have sold out faster than the Dream Key. So it seems like they allocated, when they added the capacity to the park by having Small World, which is a notorious people eater, they broke it up amongst the different Magic Key, but it seems like the lower level Magic Keys were in higher demand for those dates than the Dream Key was.
If I could explain, just for people who may not be as in the know, Disneyland bases capacity, obviously, how many people can come in the park on capacity, and capacity is directly related to the number of attractions. So the fact that it's a Small World Holiday finally opened today, which was one of our stories, that instantly increased the capacity for the park, which is why they were able to make additional spots available.
Which brings up a good point in that I'm curious to see how we might not know because demand may change, but when they close Toontown, not only, you have Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, you have Go Coaster and things like that, but it's also just space. I wonder how that's going to impact their capacity numbers.
I can tell from experience on Saturday I was there, which normally Saturdays are busy. Plus, it was the first day of the candlelight processional. The park didn't actually feel that busy, so I can definitely. It felt like they are adjusting the capacity due to the attractions, because without Small World, I can tell you it was busy in different areas, but it still wasn't a summer busy day.
Well, I'm curious. I don't know that I'll ever know the answer, but with Candlelight jamming up the works right there in Town Square, did they lower capacity for that? Because that notoriously makes Disneyland kind of miserable operationally.
Yes.
And so I was curious to, and I don't know that I would ever find the answer out, but what impact did Candlelight, if any, have on availability?
So we mentioned briefly that It's a Small World Holiday has reopened. There it is, right there on My Disney Experience. Is that still what it's called? The Disneyland app.
Disneyland app.
The Disneyland app earlier today with a whopping 5-minute wait. I don't know what it is right now, but
I'll check.
we just wanted to prove it was open, and it is a part of Genie Plus, right? I know
Yes.
it's a Small World's listed, so I assume that applies to Small World Holiday.
All Fast Pass attractions at Disneyland are transferred over to Genie Plus as of now.
Minus the ILLs.
Yes.
Oh wait,
Can't
can
see.
you guys see? Is it going to come up? Look,
Closed. Okay.
temporarily back down.
Hopefully, seriously, temporarily. And,
Right.
and the good news for all you Jeremiah fans out there is he was at Disneyland a couple of days ago, and he missed the opening of It's a Small World Holiday and the launch of Genie Plus by much.
Genie Plus is fine. It's a Small World Holiday. That one, like Saturday when there was possibility it could open, because when I was there Friday, they had cast members, they had Imagineers, everybody was there. They were cycling boats, and I got very excited. And then Saturday morning, I got a message from a friend that on the Disneyland app, they had removed it from the refurbishment schedule. And I headed down there like right away. And as soon as I was parking, it was added back on the refurbishment schedule for that day.
But
And then
Fred-
I know it's kind of off topic, but I'm just going to briefly touch on Disney Fan 1955's question about the price for average family. While I do agree it is expensive, as someone who does have a son and who has nephews and we do things as family, it's still relative to other entertainment activities we do. I still don't think that it's overpriced in comparison to that. I wish everything was more accessible, but I can't look at how much I spend for a museum entrance or Disney on Ice or those things with the dinosaurs that we take our son to, or those kinds of things, and then comparatively think, wow, Disney is so much more expensive than that. So just to kind of answer that real quick, like I said, I know it's off topic, but I haven't seen that screen name before, so I want to make sure that your answers are answered. Your questions.
One
Yes,
thing I do want to say is that I think what people don't. So Disney has obviously decided we would rather have limited attendance, charge more, and have a better experience. That's it's pretty clear because you can't just buy a ticket and they'll shove as many people as they can in there. But the silver lining to that is there's now an incentive for them to expand. There's a business case. As Small World proved, the more attractions that are open, the more things they have to do, the more people they can have and still feel like they're providing a good experience. And then once they do that, and obviously it's not a tomorrow kind of situation, then you will still see those kinds of promotional pricing on the off season to balance out. We're kind of in a pent up demand, limited capacity because not everything's back up yet situation right now. But I think those sort of Southern California tickets or those Costco promotions and stuff will come back. They will just come back once the demand has been satiated.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't considered it as well. Hey, Mike here.
I was talking to a friend from a fellow theme park nerd, and they are looking at, yes, it's going to be busy for the next month and a half, but next year at this exact same time, what is it actually going to equal? Because everybody was pent up and everybody was ready to go. And I've been going to the theme park since 4 months after the shutdown because Disney World opened, and seeing the nobody in the parks to it feeling like New Year's Eve at the Walt Disney World parks. You can see everybody's just chomping at the bit to get back in the park. But after that initial is done, what Star Cruise are going to be like in a year and a half.
Well, I also am curious to see what the Magic Key situation is going to be, because if you take into account that half of the Magic Key holders were not annual pass holders when the parks shut down, is there going to be a lack of stickiness there? Are they like, okay, we're finally ready to go back. Let's do it for this year. I'm ready. And then, when time's time to renew, they're like, let me I do with my other non-Disney passes all the time. And it's like, we had a good year. We'll get it again when there's something new. And, without any major new attractions next year at Disneyland or California Adventure, it will be interesting to see what that demand curve ends up being. And I can't predict it. No, I don't think anyone can. But
what is this no new attraction you talk about, Benji? The biggest parade in the world is celebrating its 50th anniversary at Disneyland next summer.
By definition, if it's celebrating its 50th anniversary, it's not new.
It's not new.
It's new and improved. Look, they turned it upside down and added sparkles.
What other news is there, Doobie?
Like that. Well, no, I just, before we leave, I want to have my say. The Magic Key, that is a really interesting point. No info, but my hunch is a lot of people who were annual pass holders who got their Magic Key, and even a lot that weren't, are gonna not be thrilled at how less accessible it was than they're used to, and there will be a lot less renewal than they're used to. And then what's next interesting is how Disney going to react to that. I mean, the Magic Key is $1,000 in their pocket at some point. I wonder. I would not be shocked. My bold prediction with no information that Benji probably thinks is really dumb. This whole reservation system will be gone in a couple of years.
I think Phoebe has a good point too.
80,000 people in the park.
About the subs?
Yeah, not that those are notoriously not a people eater, but it will add capacity, which will then include.
Well, I don't even think the Galactic the name escapes me, but that area, the America Sings Pavilion,
Oh, the launch bay?
Yeah, that isn't even open currently, right? They're
No.
not. So yeah, so things like that as well. By the way, Jeffrey points out the candy canes on Main Street are coming back. That's wonderful. And Phoebe, I adore the electrical parade. In fact, it's part of how he and I met. We're actually married. We met on Main Street.
Jeremiah and I are not married.
Did Captain EO reopen yet? I know that kind of used a lot of people too. No?
So Candlelight
It opened,
returned.
it went away.
Sorry.
No,
Right,
but
while
what
we've
will
got
add a
Jeremiah.
lot of capacity is nighttime spectaculars, right? Like Phantasmic,
Yes.
Mhm.
World of Color, that kind of stuff. But
And amazement. Yeah. So, okay. So Jeremiah, while we've still got Jeremiah, he has to run and catch a plane. I think he's going from Idlewild down to, I don't know what airport, whatever MCO.
Orlando International Airport.
Thank you.
OIA.
And the reason he was in California last weekend was to see. Tell us about it, Jeremiah. How was Candlelight returning to Disneyland?
So one of the things that I love the most about Disneyland and the holidays is the candlelight processional. It's been something that all my life, I'd always see pictures, and when I could finally go, I would go as often as possible. Candlelight at Disneyland, and I know Benji's going to scoff at me about this, is not for guests at all.
no, absolutely right.
It's, I've done it enough times where I could figure out, like, I found a perfect spot. I could see everything. I could enjoy Sterling K. Brown narrating it. If you watch our video towards the end, he actually has a flub, which was entertaining. They had to come and stop him from talking so Bill Rogers can thank everybody. But it's a beautiful thing, but not for regular guests. If you're going and going, I really want to see Candlelight, you're going to be in a fight or standing on Main Street for 6 hours. I believe when I got into the park at 9 o'clock in the morning, there were people already camped out before they'd even set up the ropes, and they had to relocate them. But that all being said, the show is beautiful. It's one of the longest running traditions in the Disney parks. Beautiful. The music is just just to watch the video. Like I could go on for days and days about how amazing it is once it's going. Trying to get to see it, that's the challenge.
Yeah, so if you did not get to see it, sorry, Rebecca.
No, go ahead.
If you did not get to see it, Jeremiah did sacrifice himself so that you can have an incredible video. He went the extra mile. So you want to go check that out on our YouTube channel. The full video of when the Saturday Night Candlelight.
Correct. The first show is the candlelight that you're looking at, and then the processional is for the second show because I couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah.
So check that out on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, it is now my duty to tell you it is 7:20.
Safe journey.
Goodbye,
We'll see
everybody.
you.
That
Hi,
was,
guys.
bye. That candlelight processional was among one of the earlier chats or whatever Doobie and I had, because he was actually there bright and early. He was one of those people who got there at rope drop to spread out a little blanket on Main Street and sat there all day waiting for candlelight back in the day. And I showed up around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something and joined them and played cards and chatted, and that's among the ways that I ended up kind of getting to know him, actually.
We talked and talked and talked, and it was love from there on out.
Yeah, for him.
You skip ahead a few months.
Yeah,
for me.
For him. So yeah.
Wow.
But,
all right. In other Disneyland Resort news, Disneyland After Dark is returning in 2022.
that's
So
exciting.
How come when you say it sounds dirty?
These are some hugely popular events with the fans. There's Sweethearts Nights, Villains Nights, Star Wars Nights, tons of characters. These always do Bafo on Twitter for us. And they're coming back starting February 1st.
They have really fun photo pass fun, as part of it. Nice stand-ups. We have articles from the last, from the last time they offered some of these events. So be sure and check out Laughing Place. I'll try and include some of those links down below so you can see some of what was available when they did these a couple years back. Yes, Ben.
Just to give an operational note, if you had tickets to the Villains Night and the Star Wars Night that was supposed to happen in 2020, for Villains Night, you can call starting today through January 8th, I believe, and change them. Same thing with the Star Wars. If you're doing the event that's on the May 3rd and 4th, if you're doing the one that's on May 27th, that is tied to Star Wars Celebration, that's a little bit more expensive. So you just have to pay the difference, or you can call and get a refund.
Now, can I trade in my list towards these from back in the day?
No.
No, my tickets, because I didn't want to write teacups again, so I had this ticket left, and I was told it had like a value on it that I could use it in the future, but then they got rid of ticket books. So can I use it towards these nights?
You're very old.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. In other news, and again, Disneyland, I feel like when I was putting this together today, I'm like, this is just thing after thing after thing to make the fans happy. The trams are coming back.
Yeah,
so
that took way too long.
Month,
I'm glad they're finally coming back.
This month, they are returning to the Magic Kingdom this very month. Maybe today, but probably not, because we would have known. They are coming back to the Magic Kingdom.
Jeremiah was at the Met.
I believe other people went that have Twitter. And then next year, early next year, we'll be returning to the other three parks. And do we have any word on when they're coming back to Disneyland?
2022.
So it could be anywhere from 3 weeks from now to a year and 3 weeks from now. So that's something to look forward to.
I believe the comp. Oh, let me see if I can find it. If you give me a second, they had this funny explanation about why
they really do the head bob thing. Oh my goodness, I'm so sick. My thing in life is to watch TikTok every morning, and I've had more than enough of the head bob. Yet here it is. They did it.
You're over the head bob.
Yes.
I don't know what the head bob is.
One trend to the next trend to the next trend to the next trend to the where's my mouse? There we go.
I like how they say where is it?
Oh, hey, Mark Farnham is coming in to let us know. I know there's an enormous screen set up currently in Galaxy's Edge for a special event. And I'm guessing it's this event that Mark is highlighting here, the Make-A-Wish event tomorrow at Galaxy's Edge, and Mark Hamill will be there. And Mike,
follow Laughing Place to see full coverage from Mike Celestino.
There you go. I was just about to ask that. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so it says due to the operational complexities, the trams will be returning in 2022.
Oh, dude. Okay.
It's a tram. It's got wheels, an engine. They made spaceships in this place, and they can't operate a tram. Also, at Walt Disney World, International Festival of the Holidays has returned. That's the storytelling, get the story of Hanukkah and all these things. Lots of good, yummy food. We've got a full coverage of that on LP, so make sure you read that before you go. Jeremiah took one for the team, tasted everything. And,
all looked yummy to me. And,
cool
Figment's back in his holiday sweater.
Yes, which it's a nice sweater, too, as I found out yesterday. There's a nice Santa Claus is there, green guest. You can't sit on his lap, but you can say hi and from a distance. So,
yeah.
Of course, there's entertainment. I forgot what they're called.
Joyful.
Thank you. Joyful, which is an incredible gospel group. I love watching Joyful at Epcot this time of year. So, and of course, the Candlelight Processional as well. With there at Walt Disney World, it lasts for several weeks with many, many narrators, unlike Disneyland, which is just one weekend. So you can check that out if you want to see Pat Sajak or Barney from that funny show about his mom or any of those. Check that out.
I don't watch this show. Is he always this inaccurate?
Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know why you're mentioning him, but I know Jodie Benson was recently the narrator there. So
Neil Patrick Harris isn't doing it this year?
I don't recall. I personally don't recall seeing his name, but I haven't been paying.
All right, Tony, I know you're out there. Let me know Pat Sajak and Neil Patrick Harris, because my presumption is they're there every year. On the list.
I do recall that because I remember thinking, wow, Haunted Mansion, Muppet Haunted Mansion, and Candlelight Processional. What a year.
Like to buy a J, Pat.
My presumption is Neil Patrick Harris is always on the agenda. So if he's not, my mistake. I was just watching Gone Girl the other day. He's in my head. Also, more Epcot holiday fun, and this is one that's near and dear to Benji's heart, is Living with the Land's holiday makeover is here and better than ever as they've updated the narration. Look at that. Is this just awesome? What they've done inside of there. Did you foresee this, Benji, when you were taking bi-hourly, semi-hourly cruises through here? Did you foresee the day when there would be Christmas lights in here?
I wish it was semi-hourly. No, but I don't know if they've changed it. But one thing I would always recommend is go on the Living with the Land boat ride the first day of after daylight savings time ends, and go around 5 o'clock so you can do it in pitch darkness because they forgot to change the lighting time.
That is always fun. That first time that the time change has occurred and the lighting has not yet been adapted, and so you're riding around in the dark. By the way, Neil Patrick Harris is not on the list, and remaining as far as narrators is Lisa Ling, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Courtney B. Vance, Blair Underwood, among some of the celebrity narrators yet ahead this year.
My
I didn't know
apologies.
who some of those people are.
One of my favorite holiday lighting things here. I'm going to share it with you guys. You ready?
Yes.
Here it is. Check it out.
Oh yes, Mamacita. Check that out. The Dinosaur Lights is one of the coolest things
Cute.
at Walt Disney World. What, do you have
That's
trouble
cool.
saying
That's
that?
new, right?
Isn't that nice? Yeah, look what they've done. Ooh, he's fancy.
He's iridescent.
Because they have those Osborne lights left over, they could just kind of spread them out other places. So
Do you think
That's
they
over it.
just reuse the castle lights since they don't do that?
Hey, look, here's what it's like if you stand inside his ribcage. Oh, turn off the music. There you go.
this
Right
is actually
inside.
disgusting.
Ooh, it's almost like the old imagination tunnel, right?
There's nothing good about this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of this.
You're not a fan of being in the illuminated ribcage?
No, I like it from the outside. Being on the inside is actually rather disgusting. So this may be my favorite comment in the history of our show.
Ooh,
And yet
very
it won't
nice.
show.
Excellent, Mike. Excellent.
I'm afraid the event will be quite original when your friends arrive, Emperor Palpatine. Oh no, that's
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah, that's his Emperor Palpatine. What you gonna do?
maybe. Yeah, it kind of drifted off into something totally different. And then we got so one of the things they announced way back when was Walt Disney was going to.
It was his political statement on Brian Kelly's Louisiana accent.
That's funny. Oh, okay, never mind. This is my favorite comment in the history of our show. Tony, has someone hurt you?
I don't
Oh,
know the answer to that, but we'll not share that on this one.
it was Walt's birthday yesterday, and so they decided to give us a little sneak peek at the development of the Dreamers Point statue, which I know some people had been concerned maybe because we hadn't seen any updates. We had seen a picture, so people felt that it was still in progress, but I think it was very nice to see actual evidence of its continuing development and its coming arrival to Epcot.
It is. It looks. He just looks so comfortable sitting there, like he belongs, like he's a part of just a part of Epcot. I really hope they have some steps here, so you can just walk up and sit on his arm or his leg, or it's like sit on his shoe and just enjoy the park while sitting on Walt. I feel like that would be a really awesome experience, don't you think?
I'm interested to see the actual scale because I know how the images are, but I'm intrigued to see what it'll be like in person.
And do we know how big he is? If they announced, is he 50 feet tall or 100 feet
We've
tall?
only seen like concept art, and concept art is usually kind of artistic representation. So I'm not 100%.
The footage shown at Destination D23,
Mhm.
it seems like he is somewhat, just like the partner statue, just a tad bit larger than life. but seems to be the same scale. If you kind of use Spaceship Earth as your guide, which is obviously huge, so it's kind of hard to use as your guide, but that'd be my guess.
Yeah, no, I agree, Phoebe. I'm very excited to see them bring Walt into the park. So
I feel
And I
good.
really like the. I mean, I've always felt, as of like 30 seconds ago, that the Roy Disney pose, where he's just chilling on a bench with Minnie, just feels better than the Walt pose, where he's like standing there making a statement. And so Walt finally having the chance to just sit down and enjoy his park the way Roy does. I'm actually quite a fan of this. I like this a lot.
Mhm.
What's interesting too is, the Roy statue is based off of
a photo.
a photo, and they just replaced Mickey with Minnie,
Mhm.
from opening day.
It's a beautiful
And
photo.
you're right. It is a beautiful photo. And, this is the third Walt statue we've had. I mean, of note, we've had the partner statue. You had the storyteller statue, which kind of had an aspirational look, Walt arriving in Hollywood, kind of, eager.
Mhm.
And this one, I think, has a more of you're right, casually reflective feel.
Contemplative.
And they're all three Walt, right? You have the showman sharing his vision with the
Mhm.
partner statue. You have, the guy coming in who's going to change the world and doesn't, believes it in himself, but no one else does. And then you have the sort of, grandfather looking over his creation, so to speak. And, it's like, it's almost like he's looking at his grandchildren playing,
Mhm.
it's cool.
Yeah, no, you're right. I hadn't thought about it, but it really does have kind of a grandfatherly feel to it. That's very, very cool. Yeah.
So Walt, we can't wait to see you.
Yep, I'm excited.
Looking
Very
forward
excited.
to it. Most definitely.
And as Jeffrey points out, and future Hallmark ornament.
Well, let's face it, nothing gets done without the merchandising angle. Oh,
Hey.
question. Technically, is this bringing IP into the park?
Technically, he is intellectual property that the Walt Disney Company owns.
There you go.
So bizarre. Such a bizarre
Technically.
notion.
Thank
Such a
you.
bizarre notion. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's about it for. No, it's not. So Rebecca, this is something she loves because she loves gingerbread at Walt Disney World.
I do love gingerbread.
And now she can eat a tiny giraffe at the lobby of Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Please don't eat the giraffe.
It's so pretty. I love it.
This was kind of a surprise. A lot of hotels have gingerbread houses. How cool to do a gingerbread giraffe, a Gigi, here at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And he's adorable. I don't know if he has a name, but I like him. Wish I lived in Florida so I can go check him out.
I was gonna say, is it a Maasai or reticulated?
Yeah, I can't tell from the photo. I'm not good at that.
I think it's
But
the
there's only
Jeffrey.
one, so it's not a tower.
What do you call a bunch of giraffes charging at you? A tower of terror. Sorry. My son.
Really nice. And it'll only be on display until January 1st. So if you're planning to go to Walt Disney World, check it out.
And by the way, let me just mention that since this picture's ready, if you're going to Disney World, especially if you have transportation, don't be daft. Get in your car and go visit every single Walt Disney World hotel and enjoy the decor, the unique decor each hotel has. Every hotel is decorated appropriately for its location, and you can spend a day easily just traveling among them and enjoying the sights. I promise you won't regret it. Get away from the crowds for a day. Go check out the hotels. Take advantage of what Walt Disney World has to offer.
The trees.
Thanks, former KSR driver, for saying it's a Maasai. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The tree. The Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge take advantage of their tall lobbies to have enormously beautiful Christmas trees. The Grand Floridian has an amazing gingerbread house. The Yacht Club has an enormous train on display. The Beach Club has a gingerbread carousel celebrating Little Mermaid. This time of year, the unique decor that's done by the pastry staff of Walt Disney World is just unreal, and definitely a highlight of our previous years having lived in the shadow of Walt Disney World, soon to return, but not yet.
I'm always amazed at the people.
Parents were the biggest stick in the muds that Walt Disney World has ever seen. Went to the Grand Floridian, and I was like, okay, they're gonna find some reason to complain, and they had a great time.
Oh, yeah, I'm always amazed at people who, they'll go to Disney parks, they'll even go to Disney Springs or a water park, but they don't consider the hotels an attraction, and especially at this time of year, the hotels are an attraction. So, and take advantage of the Skyliner to travel between them and enjoy the best attraction in the park.
And if you're up in the Universal Resort area, stop by their hotels. They also have great Christmas decor. The Cabana Bay Resort has amazing mod those silver tinsel Christmas trees that are just so amazingly 60s and wonderful. Yeah, they've got those up there, so a lot of fun.
So you mentioned Universal Studios. We're going to go to Universal Studios Hollywood now, where their Christmas is in full bloom. Here is, I believe I forget the character's name. Is this No Face Man?
I'm guessing isn't that like the mayor of Whoville?
Oh, this is the mayor of Whoville from Grinchmas, which is going on now at Universal Studios Hollywood. Mike Celestino got to travel there. He's away today, or he would tell us all about it himself. But we have dozens of pictures from the event
and video.
City Walk here. Okay.
In her finest. They even did a nice little holiday overlay for the the upper lot portions of Universal Studios, where you'll find Minions and Secret Life of Pets. So lots of holiday beauty at Universal Studios Hollywood. Even an adorable Minions popcorn bucket that's Christmas themed.
And that,
so
don't bury the lead.
What is it?
You can meet Max.
Oh yeah,
and you can even meet Max.
Meet Max from Grinchmas.
And we'll actually have more from Universal on Friday, because we're going to have an interview with the Grinch.
Awesome. So stay tuned for an interview with the Grinch.
Don't be silly. Max is a fictional character.
And also in Florida, also at Universal Studios Hollywood, we have a lot of pictures of Hogwarts, which looks beautiful at Christmas time. Of course, this being in California, this is real snow, so it's really special to be able to see Hogwarts in real snow. And
yes, they get real snow in California, not like Orlando where it's all fake snow. Right?
No, it gets cold in California, I can tell you firsthand experience. And there are lots of great food that Mike didn't get a chance to eat, but he did get good pictures of. So again, all on LP, and all the reasons you need to expand beyond Disney and visit Universal. We've already talked about SeaWorld in Florida and California and all the great holiday stuff they have. Let me tell you, much like the golden age of TV, we are living in the golden age of theme parks. We even have an article up there. We don't have it for this. We have an article on the holidays at Great America, Northern California theme park that was put up.
California today.
Yep. So lots going on at Laughing Place. We've also got some interviews with the creative team behind the scenes who bring the holiday fun to the theme parks. So be sure and check out those videos as well.
And good news, Disneyland Resort has a new contract, so they're going to remain open. So that's great.
No, Disneyland Park.
Oh, Disneyland Park. Sorry, the resort may not remain open, but the park is safe.
No, the resort was already had a contract. Disneyland Park ratified the same contract that they previously voted down. So they were separate, and Downtown Disney and California Adventure were going to remain open, but the question was Disneyland, and now it's all done.
Now we're good. Capacity stays up. All right.
Yep. I don't know, Phoebe. Some of our team is missing today. Maybe. I don't know.
His heart is this big.
Anything else, Mr. Doobie, today?
I just wanted to reiterate our top story of the day, and that is the return of the pre-show at ET. He is once again saying your name at the end of the show, at the end of the ride.
Goodbye.
Huge news. And
what name do you give him, Doobie?
I give Doobie. He's never said my name.
Yeah, he always says friend.
Not once. I'm a friend.
Friend back.
I've never found a keychain with my name on it. I have a hard time even getting mouse ears with my name on it. They're little.
That's true.
Whatever, so.
Yep. That's true.
The burden of being me, let me tell you. It's not
do you give him Benji, or do you make him try and say Benjamin?
I usually say Benjamin because the longer the name, the easier it is to know it's you.
Gotcha.
He's not particularly eloquent.
That's true.
So he goes, man, you're like, wait, what was that me? So badge, and it gives me a little bit longer time to be like, oh, that's me, which is all kind of silly because very rarely does it even work, but it's still fun.
I'm very excited about it because our son adores that attraction, and he kind of fell in love with it in the midst of COVID when that wasn't happening. So I'm excited for him to go and experience it the way it should be.
I will say that
we're big fans of cast members, having known many and actually having many in our own families. We are quite big fans of the cast. What were you getting ready to put up there, DB?
Hold on,
Florida, that attraction, which is the only place that exists in the United States, it could use a little TLC.
What, E.T.?
Slowly. They're giving it to it slowly.
Maybe they are. I haven't been in a while, but
you could use a little.
Botanicus came back and looked really good. And now E.T. says goodbye to you by name. So,
if Botanicus came back, that's a big step in the right direction. So I'm glad to see. My point being that by seeing that they're willing to invest in bringing this back, it shows sort of a commitment to the attraction that I think many of us might have found surprising. Just because they had closed the attraction in California, so you kind of think it's on its last legs everywhere. But no, it seems like Florida is committed to keeping that show around for a while.
Gio's complaining that he can't.
You can find anything with Jeffrey on it?
Right here, Gio. You got a whole gingerbread animal dedicated to you, so I don't want to hear any complaints.
Oh, I'm sure that's the first time he's been compared to that giraffe. I'm sure that's the first time he's heard that.
And Kyle, you want to know the ironic thing is I'm on the hard line and Benji is on the Wi-Fi.
And that's why I keep saying it's simply the matter of the machine processor is not up to the task.
Are we on the same machine?
The Wi-Fi actually is. Huh? Yeah, no, actually mine's better than you. But no, I think our Wi-Fi has, our hardline shares bandwidth with a certain website, whereas our Wi-Fi does not.
Okay, I gotcha. And Tony says that there has been a lot of work done in terms of infrastructure in the last few years over there at Universal Orlando. So
Benji says ET could use some TLC. I think it could use some DEMOLOTION.
Oh, can I go on my high horse for a little bit about something?
You're gonna have to sit up.
No. So Disney. So
you have the high ground.
Disney announces that they're bringing back the trams. So then Universal tweets something snarky saying, "We don't, trams. We don't need trams." But their parking lot's like crazy far from the parks, and they should need trams. They just can't have them. You're mocking something for not needing it, when in reality you do.
But they don't think they do. Their whole system is designed with the notion that they don't need trams. I don't necessarily agree with them, but that was a decision that they made from a design point of view. Whereas Disney just has you march through the parking lot currently.
I will say though, like trams at Magic Kingdom are helpful and necessary. Trams at like Hollywood Studios, not so
helpful
much.
And necessary if you're parked in the back, which you can be. One of the worst feelings in the world is walking out of Universal Studios Florida and realizing you still have that much further to go to get to your car. It's a long way. Luckily, I'm in shape. Anything else before we continue?
Well, there's a question. Do we have any? No, not that one. This one. Do we have any kind of idea or notion on that? When we might see forward progress on that at all? Has there been?
I would guess 2023.
2023, you think?
Well, it's when they'll start it.
Okay.
When they'll start it. See, now whenever I hear a refurbishment or something like this, I used to think, oh, cool, we're getting something new. Or, oh, cool, they're going to spruce it up. Now I just think, oh, cool, lower capacity.
So here's the thing that I think we all need to acknowledge, that most of the times when Disney announces an attraction, it is much further along than this Splash Mountain refurbishment reinvention was. So it's going to be longer than most overlay reinventions because they have to actually design it, whereas opposed to most attractions that we know, but that work is mostly done by the time we hear about it.
So you're saying there's a chance it's not even going to happen?
No, he didn't say that at all.
I mean, sure, there's a chance.
There's always a
chance, but it's not a good chance.
Okay.
And well, I was wondering, because we've had so many projects that were already in the pipeline that have been kind of pushed out. You know, that's going to push it out too. Yes, Mr. Ben.
Hold up, Jeffrey worked at Toys R Us?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
He
Oh,
was
my goodness.
friends with Jeffrey.
Jeffrey was Jeffrey?
No, he was friends with Jeffrey. What's wrong with you?
Jeffrey
Friends
doesn't
with
exist
Jeffrey.
anymore. I think we don't have to value that magic.
No,
Wow.
friends with Jeffrey.
I hope you cashed your paychecks already.
My head's gonna explode.
That's so exciting. Yep.
So, but normally, would Haunted Mansion Holiday and It's a Small World Holiday go down at the same time?
Normally, I don't know, but they've traditionally done. They'll wait for Haunted Mansion Holiday Haunted Mansion to reopen from its de-holidification before they take down Small World.
It's just a terrible thing now. Don't ever touch the Matterhorn anymore. No more refurb on the Matterhorn. Keep up the capacity.
No, we do not condone not refurbishing attractions.
Bring out the omnibus. Bring back the canoes. We need these things.
Canoes are
All
back,
the
by the way.
canoes.
Kill boats.
No.
All right. Anything else before we shut down this
Thank you,
very
everybody,
popular for
joining
us show today? Nice to see those numbers. Thanks all. I think the main thing is people knew the CEO was on, so our whole LP team is here because when the CEO speaks, LP listens.
No, they don't.
Mr. Angry Eye.
Don't forget, Boy Band Holiday is on ABC at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Please
So we
forget
better
it.
get out of here soon. It's almost time for Boy Band Holiday.
I have a better suggestion. The New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills in a surprisingly meaningful Monday night matchup on ESPN. Try that instead.
I know it's always fun that despite the NFL's best efforts, ESPN actually gets a good game.
This is the game of the week, and it's on Monday Night Football. I'm actually excited for this.
Do we get the Mannings on an
Yeah,
I don't
alternate
know.
channel?
Manning
Yes,
cast?
you do. Manning
Okay,
cast this
good.
week.
That's my way to watch football now.
Do they announce their guests ahead of time?
Yes.
Do we put that on LP?
No, it's not that far ahead of time. Like
Okay.
like an hour before.
All right. That's always fun. Anyway, watch the Manning cast on ESPN2 or the main broadcast with who is it these days? Al Michaels and John Madden on ESPN.
Yes, that is who it is. Yes.
Don Dandy Meredith,
Howard Cosell and
Frank Gifford.
and Kathy Lee Gifford. So check that out tonight on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
I love this idea. Everybody has the same name. That is so good. That's
So follow up,
so
were they
sad.
actually all named Jose? Or
No, he
was
says by
it-
accident. He says it was an
Oh,
accident.
okay. What was it?
I'd love to see that video. That would have been a little bit of fun.
Oh,
Just
man.
over and over. Whatever name it is, just repetitive.
So Todd worked ET. I feel like we need to talk to Todd
I
sometime.
know. I'm so jealous.
Do you like that ride, Ben?
I do like that ride. I mean, it's very in it of its moment. So I'm waiting for it to go from being dated to being classic. It's like, remember like when like there was a time in the 90s when we're like the tiki room was like, ooh, this is dated. But now you go and it's like, oh, it's classic. I'm waiting for that to happen to ET because right now it's still kind of dated.
Ooh. He also worked Back to the
Oh, I
Future.
was wondering what that stood for. Yeah, cool.
That's
That is
cool.
impossible for being dated because of its premise.
Yeah. No, ET. I like ET so much that I have it as one of my essential oils from Magic Candle Company, so that my house will smell like ET.
Even though you don't like the
Makes me happy. Oh, the movie's stupid. I don't like the movie at all. I really don't.
the Q. Someday we need to do a special episode on our favorite smells of Disney.
See, it's a great smell. Yeah, I have it as an essential oil. Kyle.
It's also weird to have an attraction.
I love the Tiki Room is wonderful, but I still miss Offenbach. Go ahead, Ben.
It's weird to have an attraction where the plot is like half the ride has absolutely nothing to do with the movie, completely
That's the
new
problem.
characters, and not a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I kind of think it's it adds some necessary fun to that premise, but suddenly all these random aliens, welcome home, you've arrived. Show up. and you're just like that wasn't in the movie. I kept waiting for like the spin-off where like ET2 where like they go to the green planet and there's all these like weird 80s bath toys.
We've got to catch up on some of these awesome comments.
I love this. Okay, so Todd said he was working Back to the Future. They floated him over to ET and put him in a spot where he couldn't do any harm. Then Jose.
And he sent through 24 Jose. Kyle says E.T. getting drunk deeply disturbed him as a kid. Sorry. That's hilarious to me. He did. I keep clicking the wrong one, but trust me, Kyle said it.
It's right there.
You got it. And then Nikki B, who has the best avatar of anybody, their DTL magnet. What does it smell like? How would you describe it?
Like ET. I couldn't. It's somewhat like how I envision an Oregon forest smells early in the morning.
You know what it smells like to me? It's like
not Washington.
It's a mixture of pine plus the smell that comes out of a fog machine.
Yes.
With a hint of Reese's Pieces.
Which is how in my head, every scene of like X-Files where they're out in the woods, that's the smell that comes into my head when they're out in the woods or
is this
like
true?
Early in the morning.
Breaking news.
Tony's
breaking news. Tony's being Tony. It's from
is
a
that
sequel
true?
novelization. Oh, wait. How does Tony say it? I'm Tony. It's from a sequel novelization.
By the way, Tony is also part of the LPT, which is why he's getting such abuse. For those of you new and unaware, we aren't that cruel to just random people. Yes, exactly. Damp forest. It smells like damp forest. It's very nice. I like it.
I'm not sure. I feel like that has some sarcasm to it.
Me too, Phoebe. That's the only way to go. Classic.
Hey, Phoebe. Phoebe, you stay off of my back and I'll stay off of your back.
That's it. Nope.
All right, we're done, peeps. Thanks a lot, Ben, for coming in. Jeremiah, who is now happy to MCO. Thank you for joining us from Ottawa.
Halfway through the boarding process.
And thank you, as always, Rebecca. It's a pleasure of my life to see your face every single day. We will talk to you next time. So much more coming up this week. Tomorrow, of course, we have Disney Parks Talk Live. No, we don't.
Tomorrow we have Barely Necessities. We're going to talk about all kinds of Disney merchandise because the holiday season's here, which means there's all kinds of new stuff happening. Rock Love's got some new Kyber crystal lightsabers. There's some new aprons over at Shop Disney, some new Dooney styles. So lots going on. We're going to be talking about all that over at Barely Necessities. Also on Wednesday, I'll be back with Mike Celestino. We're going to be talking about Star Wars headlines and hearing all about what it was. Oh, it's not on Wednesday. Oh, no, that's right.
Rolled up into one show.
Mike is going to be at Disneyland experiencing Genie Plus, and he's going to come, and we're going to talk about it in studio. Let you guys know what it was like hands-on on Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday,
okay.
And maybe throw some stars in there, too.
Thursday at 4. Gotcha.
That's just going to be the Becca and Mike show, talking all things Disney.
Yep. So
and tomorrow's Disney Trivia Live.
If you enjoyed this, please give us a like. Let your friends know that you found us. And if you hit that bell, we're live a lot around here, and it'll let you know that somebody's here talking Disney, inviting you to join us, because we try and do as much live as possible around here so we can have kind of a little bit of a chat going on. It's fun to hear from you as well and do our best to answer your questions. So there you go.
Thanks, everybody. From all of us to all of you,